Between digital media and the live guiding, and are these two rivals or are they partners? Is there a point of communication between the two? And then I have two other pieces, which one concerns the preparation for the tourist guide by using new technology, particularly the internet and other media, and also how to use especially the internet and the social media for advertising also, because now as a tour guide you've got immense potential to find customers easily and not through very formal channels. So let's start by a short traveling time. How did the idea of sightseeing develop and our curiosities? And did you know that the first museum in the world was created by Eni Gadi, who was the daughter of the last Neo-Babylonian kingdom, King Nabonidus. She had collected various curiosities and she stored them all in the palace of Ur in Mesopotamia back in 530 BC. And also the ancient Greeks built these small buildings, they look like temples, in major sanctuaries such as Olympia and Delphi, and there they would put works of art, or they would put a trophy from wars. And on specific religious celebrations, they would take them out, and people visiting the site would go and admire them. So they were, let's say, the first museums. The Romans, of course, were very well known for loving the art, and so when they came to Greece and other areas, Asia Minor, etc., they used to take things, put them in public spaces in Rome or in their villas, and then had people admire them. That was another idea of creating museums, let's say. But the first real guide, or at least the first author of a guidebook, was Pausanias, who in the 2nd century AD, starting from Asia Minor, traveled all over Greece, and he wrote 10 books of very nice descriptions. Actually, if somebody is nowadays guiding in Greece, they should definitely know their Pausanias very well, because not only did he focus a lot on temples and public buildings, etc., which he considered important or nice, but he also put a lot of stories inside about mythology, about historical personalities. So it's an inexorable source of information about making a very interesting tour.
Can we ask
Yes.
Can we interrupt?
Yes.
Is that in English, his
yes,
work?
in English, in French, it has been translated in all languages. So if you look for Pausanias, actually you can even find it online in English translation.
Right.
If you go to the Livius project, you find all sources online.
Okay.
And then, of course, in late antiquity, after the advent of Christianity, there were people who were inspired by the need for pilgrimage. And they also wrote guiding books like Egeria or Etheria, who described all the steps of her travel, so offering famous, useful information. Then we have medieval travelers like Benjamin of Tudela, suppose you all know him, and Ibn Battuta from the Arabic point of view. So all times had people traveling and writing notes and informing others about their travels. But the real peak, and it's when actually the modern idea of sightseeing started being formed, was at the late 17th century, when European aristocracy developed this predilection for traveling in places where classical antiquity had thrived, like Italy, Greece, Asia Minor. And of course they collected antiquities as well, which they took to their houses and mansions, and they created the first museums, let's say. Which in the 18th century they started also building special storage spaces. Travelers would see what they wanted, that they would arrive at their destination safe. This all started changing after the 1950s. When we started changing our view about what is worth seeing and about the idea of museums, etc. So we didn't want everything to be static anymore, but we wanted to be able to interpret what we were seeing, and we wanted an educational role in all this process. We wanted to learn something out of this process. So this is what sparked the idea of heritage interpretation, of which we have spoken extensively during this course. Now, for the past 20 years, it's mainly the digital technologies which have started revolutionizing again our relation with the past and whatever is worth seeing. So they offer a variety of means for heritage interpretation, and they have revolutionized all the educational tools, as well as the way we move about in places of interest. And this is where the main question comes. Is it going to be the end of the profession of the tour guide? The fact that we can guide ourselves around with various media? Well, let's find the answer as we go on this course. First of all, how do we combine traditional and high technology tour guiding, and what kind of ideas and new potential can digital technology offer to the guiding experience and make it more comprehensive and interesting? And can it actually help the guides better prepare for their professional endeavors? For example, here you see that digital technologies have been incorporated in museums and archaeological sites. Why is that? What do they offer? Any idea?
Interactivity.
Interactivity, exactly. That's it. Because they add interactivity, especially when there are places where there's no live guiding or there's nobody around to guide them. It's the only way where actually people can feel that they interact with the exhibits. We even have completely interactive museums like the Foundation of the Hellenic World. This is how I started my career, where you have all 3D reproductions, and you can plan your own guiding basically, because you can say, okay, stop here, I want to see this, go up, go down, and you can have all sorts of things. These new media, they also enhance the participation of the public, which is another exigency in heritage interpretation nowadays. So people just don't sit like that watching, but they have to do something. They have to read, they have to listen, they have to maybe to press buttons, they have to answer to questions, so it's much more lively. Because now we have changed completely our approach to heritage. Before, it was something that had to be interpreted by specialists, by the archaeologists, and this was a top-down approach. And nowadays, we are currently challenged by the new concept that the public has to understand heritage and also develop a sense of ownership towards its past. So we have the bottom-up approach, and this is largely facilitated by technology, because this is what technology is doing. It's helping everybody have access to information and to various things. Let's see a few of devices that have been used in the past and are still being used in order to guide people around in sites of interest. First of all, we had the info kiosks. Then came the audio guides, the PDAs, the QR codes, and now we're dealing with mobile apps. But we'll see each one of them individually. So the info kiosks, you all probably know them. They are sort of interactive screens placed within some light architectural construction, some stand, some box, something like that. And they usually display pre-installed information. So you've got content there, and you navigate yourself by pressing on buttons or on the screen itself, and you find the kind of information that usually you don't have connection to the internet, so you can't go much further. As with everything, there are things for the use of info kiosks and others against them. So among the positive things is that they are quite easy to use. Even children can use them. You can use simple buttons or a touch screen. They are suitable for multimedia content. You can upload a bit of video or an interview with somebody, etc. And you can also create itineraries. For example, if you put one in the town hall and another one in the library, then the one might be pointing to the other. And like that, you can offer information to somebody going around a historic city center, for example. However, there are also some disadvantages. For example, they are suitable only for concise information. You can't put up too much, and the fact that there's no connection to the internet it does not enable you to go any further. Oops, sorry, this was wrong. Also, the greatest disadvantage is that infokiosks tend to break down quite often, especially if you're exposed to the weather. They're not very suitable for outdoors installations. And when they do break, usually it's quite expensive to replace or to fix them. So at least in Greece, we have several spaces where there were infokiosks installed, I don't know, in 2000, 2005, and now they're not working anymore. You can see just the boxes. And also another thing is that they're not suitable for large groups of people. So in a museum, only 2-3 people at a time can go in front of it and fiddle with it, not the bulk of a group.
Can I suggest some other pro that not personal information, but they can really register very useful information of how many people has touched the screen, what time,
statistics.
how long they have been touching, what is the
Main interest.
no the sequence.
The sequence of information.
All these websites, these statistics, analytics that are. So my question would be, after these years they have been everywhere, these kiosks, do we have this information registered, analyzed?
I don't think that actually anybody bothered to do this kind of research. They only use the internet sites for research.
Because in the time they have said it, they have not thought about this probably, and they have not thought about these points as antennas to gather very useful information.
Yes, it would need a special programming for that purpose. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe in some cases, more advanced and more recent installations they have it, but I don't know. I know that all museums follow their website clicks and everything, but I'm not quite sure about that.
It should be such an important feedback.
Yeah. Anyways, of course, we all saw actually audio guides in action. They are the immediate competitors of live tour guides, okay? Because it's very easy to have these little talking machines, let's say, with their earphones and everything. You give it to the visitors, and there they go in the museum or in the archaeological site. They have their own guided tour. However, you see here one of those devices. Oops. They have also some favorable and unfavorable points. The favorable points is that the visitors can follow the narration and they keep their view clear, so they just hear as they walk. There's nothing to impede their view or anything, and they're not distracted. And in a very pleasant manner, they can concentrate on what they see. And of course, usually they're much cheaper than hiring a professional guide, okay? Because you go to the museum, you pay 5-8 euros, and there you have your personal guiding. However, there are also negative aspects. One is that it is difficult to have very deep information. Also, it's quite difficult to have many stories, to make it very lively. It tends to be a bit linear, the entire guiding. It goes from one exhibit to another. Maybe you can just press the button and say, okay, I don't want exhibit 3, I will go to exhibit 5, but that's about the interaction that you can have. And also the narration is very stylized. It's like it can be very boring. Somebody reading with the same tone of voice, so after a while you get a little bit tired, etc. And there is no possibility of interaction. I mean, I told you that the only possibility is just to skip something. Maybe in more recent developments, there is a way for the system to recognize where you are, so you get your information directly. But that's about it. We have in Greece, at least we have several companies developing audio guide systems, and nowadays they are also changing the material they provide according to the needs of more sophisticated audiences. For example, they have made a system, the same company, Radiant, which is the supreme company in Greece. They have made a system for transferring the narration of a real-life guide right to the ears of the spectators. And they have specialized, they've got other systems for open spaces, other systems for closed spaces, for museums, etc. Now there are mobile apps.
So you say these sites are very good to consult the previous
These,
ones?
the previous ones were examples of what there is in the Greek market. But these are actually sites which offer audio guides as mobile apps. So you can download, you buy it online, you put it in your mobile phone and you have your own earphones, and as you go to Barcelona, for example, you've got several options of guided tours, and I'm going to show you one right now.
And my question is also, are these good ones? These are good sites, or
These are good sites. I selected the most representative, and let's visit one. Let's visit Detour. I don't think, can I do it from here? No.
Unless you copy the
I'll copy it.
It is connected.
Control.
Yes.
Or
Let's copy this. Before it was, because I wanted to show you also the.
You have to go to the.
It keeps on throwing us out of the system.
I think you have to do guest that and then take these codes in.
But he says he has a code for it.
Yes.
Anyways, these application audio guides, they keep on being developed and developed. For example, if we don't manage to get connected in Detour, there are special itineraries, for example, for people who like gastronomy, okay? So they have a prepared tour for you, and they tell you which bars or tapas and whatever, which places to go and eat, what you should eat, what is the specialty of the shop, and also what time of the day you should do that, because, no, don't eat this. What time of the day, because they say you should do it between 12 and 2, otherwise if you go early in the morning, it's not going to be open. So it's quite well thought about. And especially for areas, here's the advertisement, so you can see.
so they
They
are
have
now.
San Francisco, they have a few American cities and a few European cities.
It's now software you download to your smartphone.
Yes, for example, you go to Rome. And you pay, I think it's €5 for each guided tour. So if you're interested in one or two in each city, you pay €10, and then you have everything you need. From many others that I've seen, I think this one is the more specialized, the more personalized. You can find things that can suit your needs. So you've got the ghetto, you've got all sorts of different versions. Love of Roman food in the Fiori, or more archaeological tours. It's quite varied. But each one costs €5. So if you want 5 of them, then you have to pay €25.
It's not one city, it's every.
No, it's not one city. It's every tour. Every tour. I think these are good, especially for people who have, one day they go, for example, for a conference. they don't have all day to run about, so you need to do something within an afternoon. So you buy 2 of these excursions and you just start walking and you see. And also, I don't know what happens when you have 2 things combined, because you may be interested in food and archaeology at the same time. So do you have to switch from one to the other? This is not very practical. This is what you avoid with a live guide. Basically, he can tell you all kinds of information at the same time without any any problem. Oops, sorry. But you can investigate into this and see. Yes. I think I have to press F5, but if I do it, then yes. Now, the next step in the series of development were the PDAs. I don't know if anybody remembers them. There were these microcomputers where you would have a lot of visual and audio content, and even small 3D reproductions, etc. So you would go to a museum, and instead of having the audio guide, you would have this one where there was a screen too. And you could, for example, it was very nice for giving context at an exhibit. You would see where the vase, you could see the vase in the window, and then you could see where it was found, or some photographs from its excavation. And this added more context to, especially to museum sites. And these were not very good for using outdoors, because you needed wiring and you had to put sensors everywhere. I was telling in the course for the geoparks, with one of our first pilot projects in the foundation was to do an installation at the Museum of the Petrified Forest in the geopark of Lesbos. And the ones that were installed in the museum, they kept functioning for several years. The ones that were outside, after a while, because the sensors died, so it was not very easy. But that was a pilot project, a research project, so...
But they are very cheap, really, the sensors.
Yes, but you know, sometimes, especially with bureaucracy, maybe they're cheap, but one has to sign, and then the minister has to sign, and then another one has to sign to get, I don't know, 2,000 euros for replacement.
Don't tell me about sinners. We just come from that.
You know that. So it's not always a matter of how simple or difficult it is, it's which channels it has to go through. The good thing about this was that with the sensors they could immediately recognize your position. So once you were in front of a fossilized trunk, for example, tree trunk, they would start emitting the information on their own, so you didn't have actually to press anything or to wonder what you were seeing or where you were, etc.
It has an immediate, or a forming even, there's an immediate security function. For example, for pilgrims, if they have like,
Yes.
they are going for sensors located places, the people can know when, where he or she passed right there.
Yes.
So if there is something...
Are they actually used around the pilgrim routes?
I don't know. I just knew this man that I talked to you.
Mm-hmm.
He was selling this Bluetooth for this
The Bluetooth is a good idea.
For sensors.
Yeah.
It's this one, it's sensors. And he was in Córdoba selling the sensors to restaurants, to not only for monuments, restaurants, hotels, everything.
But the Bluetooth did not have any information, was it? It was just like a sensor with which you could connect with your mobile phone.
It's a sensor that will recognize your mobile when you have the
Exactly.
Yeah. After the people of the restaurant puts the content,
Okay.
or the enterprise that sell it can put some basic content that the enterprise can modify, amplify.
Yeah. We'll talk in a while about the mobile phones and tablets that their applications. Just to say that PDAs, unfortunately, these palm tops went soon out of market because, of course, they offered a combination of sound, text, and picture, which was an advantage, and they offered also the choice of various itineraries. You didn't have to follow a very linear thing because they could recognize your position, so you could change the way you went about in the site. This installation of sensors, as we said, they made it difficult to maintain the whole system. And also we had the other problem. We tried once to install it in the Bernakis Museum, which is a historic building, and in those days we needed wiring. So finally the administration of Bernakis Museum said, no, we don't want any visible wires anywhere in the building. It will spoil the historic ambience and whatever, so we didn't do it. We did it in Cyprus though, in the Larnaca Museum of Pieridis collection, and there it functions. I think it still functions actually. These are again, I'm not going to bother you by visiting one, that was my initial idea, but now we don't have time. Memo Experience, if you enter, it was the one that we did with Pieridis Museum. And the other two systems are still, they are still active companies that can make tailor-made projects, tailor-made products, and install them in places. They collaborate with a lot of museums and sites in Greece. Then came QR codes. Who knows what QR code is?
Just put it like this.
Yes, but what does it mean?
QR.
Okay, it's the initial for quick response, so it's written there. It refers to the time that one needs to deliver information once you scan this peculiar sign there with your mobile device, a tablet or a phone. And this was developed for the first time in Japan in 1994 by a company called DenserWave. And what it does is that it allows the camera of a smartphone to develop into a code scanner, like the ones we have in supermarkets. Okay. You have to, of course, you need to have pre-installed a small app that enables you to do that. And once you do that, all of a sudden the code is transformed into content, and there you are on the screen of your mobile phone. You've got all the information you need. Actually, you notice that in your park you have QR codes about all kinds of plants that are there, and I was really surprised I photographed that. It was very interesting. This is a very easy way because you have preloaded content in a server, and then once you do that, you have all sorts of material that you can offer to passers-by, basically, not even visitors, just people visiting a site. Here you have a few more systems like that based on QR codes, but again, I'm not going to bother you. What I do want to show you though is this device. Here it was supposed to be playing automatically, but I will give you, do you have 3 minutes for the video? How long do you
Yes,
have?
and then more afterward, more or less, we will leave.
Okay. So I will leave you with that. It's something that I have collaborated with. It's developed by our sort of partner company in Greece. It's called the Aphrodite, and it's a system for 3D reproduction. How do I go back to yes, I found it. So it's called e-chronomechanic. It's travel back in time, and you have information and 3D reproductions of a site and how it was at a specific time in the past, or in various periods in the past. Yes, I will. Do you have sound? This is actually the son of my friend Yanis, who developed the whole thing, and this demo. And the actual product was generated by him because he said, what if we had a window in time to go back in time and see how the center of Athens was? So he takes out his tablet, he has preloaded the app, and through a gyroscope and GPS, there's nothing else to do, you don't need the internet, you don't need anything. You just see how the Library of Hadrian, for example, was in the 2nd century AD. Roman Agora. And then you see various chunks of time. You go on to the Ottoman period. And the good thing is that not only do you can press it as an interactive screen, of course, on the tablet, and you can also find information, so you can deepen your knowledge if you want. If you don't want, you just go about and see. If you do want more information, you can find it. This is actually our designer, Dimitris Tsarkanis, who is doing all the 3D reproductions.
Everything there is
visited of the archaeological sites in downtown Athens
It's a
was
very
Keltos, the ancient cemetery of Athens.
You have also audio information.
Also was the Keltos quarter of the city, from which the English ones used.
And is this free or you have to pay for
It
it?
it has a very small cost. If you go, it's in Google Play now, and I think the cost is €3, €4, so it's something very manageable. And there are some municipalities like Heraklion, they have got that tailor-made, so once you go in the city, you get the link from the info kiosk of the municipality, and then you do it for free. And there's a version for Apple and there's a version for Windows as well. So yeah, and this is something that we talked about with professional guides in Greece, and they liked it very much because they never felt threatened. They said, okay, this is a very good idea because it has the 3D aspect. So they can show as they go along. They tell their own story, but they can show as they go along instead of carrying books. Usually, sometimes guys carry the books or photocopies, etc. There they just carry their tablet and they go along and say, look how it was. And this has a very positive effect. It's one of those weapons, let's say, that tour guides can use for promoting their own business and not see that it's competitive somehow. So, shall we make our break and
Yes,
go?
so
Maybe
far,
go and
so
start
far
with...
so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you take your PowerPoint with you?
Yes,
If
yes,
we have
okay.
time.
Okay.
We'll first do a visit to the city.
No direi sotto
Guide of the local museum with the chief, the boss, the director of
Adesso
the
sono
local
la
museum. Then we go to
in
this
Italia
room
viene
where we
There's two
can
museums. Is it the Archaeology Museum or the...
well, just the city. We will go to we will walk through the city one day. Okay, so let's go now to the city. The first meeting point is before the Camera Municipal, the building of the